Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to give you 10 latest defense updates. Number 1, AKTU makes robot that works on finger gestures. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University has made a robot that can be instructed using the fingers of both hands by using machine learning technology. The robots will not only move on finger gestures but also perform all work assigned as programmed. Differently abled people, especially visually impaired, deaf and mute, and senior citizens can use the robot for performing various tasks. Next, KF-21 prototype successfully conduct first armament flight tests. South Korea successfully carried out the first armament test on 2 prototypes of its homegrown KF-21 fighters. Tuesday, the State Arms Procurement Agency said, in a step to vet its combat capabilities, the prototypes underwent separate tests over the waters of the country's southern coast after they took off from the Air Force 3rd Flying Training Wing in Saseo, 300 kilometers south of Seoul, according to the Defense Acquisition Program Administration, DAPA. Next, China's new defense minister is expected to visit India in April for SCO meeting. China's newly appointed defense minister General Li Shangfu is set to visit India for the first time in April, according to the Hindu. This would be China's first high-level military visit to India since the line of actual control dispute began in 2020. Next, Telugu star Varun Tej reveals new look from his Bollywood debut film VT13. Opposite Manushi Chillar was recently spotted in Mumbai in a completely new look and seemed like it is from his upcoming project. He has not made clear though if this look is from his VT13 or another upcoming project. Varun Tej is known for films such as Kanche, Fida, Tholi Prema, and Gadalokonda Ganesh. Next, Indian and Sri Lankan Tamil set to expand interaction with revival of historic ferry service. A passenger ferry service between Karaikal port in India's Puducherry and Kankesh Santhurai port in Jaffna in North Sri Lanka is finally scheduled to start operating by the end of April. Funded by the Sri Lanka Airport Authority, the Sri Lankan Navy, a passenger terminal is being constructed at Kankesh Santhurai port to facilitate the 4-hour-long ferry service. The ports will require the necessary infrastructure to facilitate customs, immigration and emigration. The vessel is expected to carry around 150 passengers. Next, India is considering investment in Russian Arctic shipping. Moscow and New Delhi are discussing the possibility of launching a trans-Arctic container shipping line and processing facilities along the Northern Sea route, according to the Russian Minister for the Development of the Far East and Arctic. Alexei Shekunkov announcement was made during his working visit to India on Tuesday, where he met with the country's Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Sarbananda Sonowal. The ministers discussed an alternative route to transport cargoes from India to Europe, not by the southern or western routes, but by the eastern routes and the NSR, using both Russian and Indian port facilities. The cost to ship a container from Vladivostok to India is 30% lower than from Moscow, the Russian ministry announced. Next, Ministry of Defense will soon issue an AON for the MRFA deal for 114 jet. Indian Air Force plans to approach Defense Acquisition Council by the second quarter of the financial year to get acceptance of necessity for the procurement of 114 jets under multi-role fighter jets based on proposals moved by Air Headquarters with the approval of the concerned service chief. Next. Russian considering tech transfer for the BrahMos 2K hypersonic cruise missile program with India. Russian administration at the highest level is considering clearing India's request for the hypersonic cruise missile technologies that will be required to develop BrahMos 2K. India and Russia had announced plans to develop a hypersonic cruise missile or the BrahMos 2K almost a decade back, but later Russia was hesitant. Russia was not keen on BrahMos 2K program later with India due to a West-backed hypersonic missile non-proliferation proposal that wanted to limit the sale and transfer of technology of the hypersonic missile, which included hypersonic glide vehicles and hypersonic cruise missiles. Next. New construction activities seen in Coco Island by China near India's Andaman and Nicobar Island. Myanmar is building a secret naval spy base in the Coco Island, just 55 kilometers from the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Myanmar has started taking his step at a time when India has formed a joint command of all the three forces in the Andaman Nicobar group of Encircle China. These days, Myanmar is battling with the fierce attack of the rebels and is increasing friendship with China to crush them. China has helped arms and ammunition on a large scale. Meanwhile, satellite images taken in January have revealed that Myanmar's military government is building a massive spy base on Coco Island in the Bay of Bengal. Next. BEL bags export orders for communication equipment, electronic assemblies, micro modules and mechanical parts. A state-owned company, BEL, has received $52 million in export orders for communication equipment, electronic assemblies, micro modules and mechanical parts from customers in France, Israel and the United States, among others. In March, state-owned Bharat Electronic Limited concluded a deal worth rupees 16,750 crore for the supply of these things for the electronic warfare systems, fire control systems, medium power radars and weapon locating radars, among other important equipment from the Indian military. Next. ISRO intends to build a new ground station in French Guiana. The Indian Space Research Organization is in talks with CNES, French Space Agency, about establishing a new ground station in French Guiana, which is located in South America's North Atlantic coast. The proposed Indian data relay satellites will be linked by a new ground station in French Guiana. The first program to benefit from it will be India's Gaganyaan project, which aims to demonstrate human spaceflight capabilities by launching a crew of 3 people into a 400-kilometer orbit for 3 days. Thank you.